Let's now try wordsmithing a cell, trying to control what goes into it. We want every value in every cell to begin with an A. So how will we do that? Well, let's go ahead and add our data validation here. And we'll continue using custom messages or formulas. And messages, I presume. Here we can say the leftmost character of B2, the cell we're writing it for, has to equal an A. It doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase, both will work with this one. And what error will we give? We'll simply say begin with A. Okay. Then let's try it out. Let's try Abigail there. Hey, seems to work. What about Eve? Nope, must begin with A. What about 7? Nope, doesn't begin with A either. Okay, so easy enough there. Let's get a little bit more complicated with the next tab. On this page, we're getting a little bit more complex. We want to see not only that the word begins with an A, but that it contains 5 characters. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and the more you know about Excel, you can figure out different formulas that would do just that. Let's solve it this way, though. Let's add some data validation after highlighting everywhere we want to apply that to. We'll allow a custom formula. We're going to say that it has to match the following. Count if B2, that's the cell we're writing this for, if that equals A and then any number of characters up to 5, I should say 1 character, it doesn't matter what it is, 2 characters more, 3 characters more, 4 characters more, so a total of 5 characters more, then that's great. So if we find something that matches, then we're going to allow that. We have to match that criteria. So this question mark, we'll learn more about this when we talk about text, but that question mark basically means it has to be a character. It doesn't matter which one, but it is 1 character for every question mark you put in there. The error message, we'll just say A plus 5 characters. Your entry must begin with an A and have 5 characters. We'll say OK. And then now let's try. Let's try Adam. No, Adam doesn't work. But let's try Adams. Yes, Adams seems to work. What about Adams with a capital A? Will that work? Will Adams work? Yes, that function is not case sensitive. So how about it might just be looking for 5 characters. Let's try begin. Nope, we have to have an A and have 5 characters. Okay, looks like it's working all right. Let's go to the next tab. Okay, we'll expand here, and it looks like we have a couple entries for Mondays in our dates. We're asked to accept the date only if it's a Monday. So let's go ahead and add that. And we'll come up here, add a custom rule again. Oh, it looks like the rule's already put in there for us. Thank you. We have the weekday of B2 has to equal 2. So we know that from our date module, that weekday of the date, whatever date we put in there, will return the number of the day of the week. So 1 for Sunday, 2 for Monday, etc. And so it has to equal 2 or be a Monday. Let's go ahead and add today there. We'll say equals today because it's a function we're calling. And it says the date entered must be a Monday. Okay. Well, the day I'm recording this is actually a Thursday. So how do we get to Monday? Well, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4 more days till Monday. So if we say today plus 4, yes, then it's going to be July 29th there. Now, this works okay right now. I got past the entry, but what happens when I open it up tomorrow? Will I get an error? Actually, no, I won't get an error, but it will violate the assumption because tomorrow will be a Friday, and so it'll be Tuesday, July 30th is the valid or the entry that's going to show up there. However, like the other things we've seen today, it only checks, data validation only checks upon input, so it won't actually catch that. Okay, let's go to the next tab. This one is a little party planner that allows us to stay within budget. So if we highlight our values here, we can go look at the data validation that's set up. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on. We're summing up C2 to C7, okay, all of those values. And then if it's less than or equal to F6, which is over here, the party budget, then we'll allow the entry to happen. So that's being applied to each individual cell. So anytime we change something, it'll calculate the total of all of these before and check it against the budget before it allows us to actually enter it. And if we go over or if it doesn't match, then it will give us the appropriate error message. Okay, this could be pretty handy. Let's say our soft drinks cost us $100 instead. I hit enter. That puts us over our budget. Sorry, you're going to have to enter a smaller amount in order to make it there. It looks like we can add $60 of soft drinks. We have received comments in the past that, people think that students have said, oh, my spouse really needs this, or perhaps the student themselves needs it. So things like this actually could come in handy. All right, let's go to the last tab for the day, and that's drawing attention. So for data validation, you can actually highlight when existing data that's sitting in the cells that have data validation set up for them actually violates what would have been the validation rules upon input. Of course, we've seen that there's ways to get numbers in after the data validation had entered, but this can be pretty useful too, in that we can actually just turn on highlighting of the rules that violate things. So if we come here and we use the little drop down next to the data validation, we can circle invalid data. And look, here's some violations for our rule. Let's go ahead and see what the rule is. We'll go ahead and highlight those and look at our rule. It says B2 has to be greater than or equal to 200. So anything that's under 200 is not valid. So we can see the violations circled there. And of course, you can actually just clear the validation circles. Okay, I hope that you've enjoyed learning about conditional formatting and data validation. It can be super useful and in some ways a lot of fun. Use it, enjoy it, and I hope you make it your own.